Welcome to our marketing podcast, where we bring our marketing strategies to you. Our sponsor today is Business Growth Blitz, which is a marketing class that brings strategies to you that you can try and implement in your own business. Today I'm Haley Paul, and this is Ann Hill and Steve Rich of our marketing department. And today we're going to talk about the history of our marketing department.
Yeah, so today we have with us Steve Rich, like we said.
Okay, it started back in the dinosaur age. No, it didn't. What happened is I was at a point, I was working in as a vice president of a $2.5 billion grocery uh, supplier, Associated Food Stores, and I had been vice president there for 21 years. And I got to admit, I loved it. I loved the people. I loved all about it. But I was at that point where I kind of wanted to market other things besides food. So I had made up my mind and I had to plan it a little bit ahead of time. So I had planned probably a year ahead of time about when I was going to kind of step out of there. And so I had my head set that okay, I'm going to quit here and I might take even a year off before I start my new business, but I just want to finish strong. I want to, not think about my next job or whatever I'm going to do. I just want to finish about making sure that I have everything in place so that our marketing continue or so that Associated Food Stores continues to grow. And as we got down to the last couple of days and word had got out that I was leaving, there was lots of business owners that I'd sat on charity boards with or worked with the city council or things like that who were texting me, and several of them were trying to get me to consult with them or offer me a job. And I kept saying, yeah, I don't even have a company yet. I don't even have a name. And one of the companies said, that's okay. We'll just tell everybody you're our marketing department. I thought, wow, my last name starts with R, our marketing department. Let's go that way. And I think the reason why I like that is I didn't, I wanted any clients that we work with to feel like when they say it, it's like, oh, you are our marketing department, right? So it's a part of them so that anything that we do is actually part of their company, even though they might be smaller and not be able to have it. And so that's kind of where the name came from and where we first started.
When it comes to the name, Haley and I actually had an interesting experience. I don't know if you remember this. We were sitting at, I believe it was KSL with a client. They were going to go on TV, be interviewed on Studio 5. And somebody else who was going to be interviewed that day at the studio asked, like, why we were there, who we were with, that kind of thing. And we were like, oh, we're from our marketing department. And that's exactly what happened. The person just assumed we were from the marketing department of that specific company. And as the conversation goes on, of course, we realized that. And then we explained, oh, actually, we're a separate marketing company, right? But it was kind of fun to have that conversation. And the name definitely has that pull, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, even the structure of how we were set up was kind of that way is, how we wanted to be different is when I looked at other marketing companies that were out there, most of them, um, unfortunately, were almost like media salespeople, right? All they wanted to do is sell these clients marketing, whether they needed it or not, or whether it was beneficial or not, because that's how they would make their money is just by making a percentage of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so from the start, we said, okay, that's not how we're going to do it. We're going to obviously accept pay for our strategy, but we will help them negotiate those other things. But we don't necessarily need a cut all along the way, so that so that it really feels like we're part of their company. That that we're we're being paid for our employment, but we don't have to, like I say, make commissions off of everything they spend or everything they do.
Right. I can't remember the exact number. How many years has our marketing been in business?
We actually started it on 11/11 of 2011.
Wow.
Yeah. If it was any other day, I wouldn't have remembered like that. So, yeah, 11/11 of 2011.
How can we celebrate that? We need to celebrate it more, I think.
Yeah, we should.
We'll come up with some idea.
Yeah. Little party poppers every time the clock reaches 11:11 in the office or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Okay, let's do it.
exactly. Every day, a taco at 11/11.
Yes, tacos.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what makes our marketing department different and kind of the culture behind it?
Well, you two are good examples. As I have worked with people before, At my previous job, I obviously had hundreds of people that worked for me. And as you would select people or whatever to do the job, I wanted people that would have the same kind of passion and love that I have of helping the small business or medium-sized business person, either way, helping them make it to that next level. And sometimes there's not as much money in that because they're not there yet, but the joy you get of seeing somebody who finally makes a profit and then is able to expand, and then eventually they either sell it or they've got such good profit coming in that they can step away and have somebody else manage it for them. That's kind of what I've always loved. And so as what I'd say what makes our marketing, it's people like you two and our other team members that we're very careful of who we hire. We want people with that type of attitude, people that know how to lift other people, that stay positive and keep people moving on the positive track. And so if any clients walk into our office, we want them to feel that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to just say it. We don't want to do it. We want them to feel like, okay, these guys actually care whether my business lives or dies, whether I'm okay or not. And so that's kind of the culture that we have there.
Yeah. You can definitely feel it. Like the office has a very welcoming, at least in my opinion, very welcoming feel to it, right? We try to greet everybody that walks in the door. We try to welcome anybody in, even if they're, interrupting a team meeting, right? Like, because we have walk-ins every once in a while, and we always try to make people feel welcome. And that's a really important part of the culture of our marketing.
Yeah, one other thing I'd probably add is the creativity. Is one thing I learned early on is to make something that's memorable and that makes people want to repeat it or talk about it to other people. You have to be a little bit on the edge on certain things. It has to be a little bit more clever, or a little bit more funny, or more bright, or whatever. And so one of the neat things we have was with the team that we have now at our marketing is we are able to focus on that so that somewhere else people might get. They could still get a direct mail flyer. They could still get an email, but with our team, they get that added creativity, something that's fun or something that's more memorable, something that maybe rhymes or something that just makes it their company or their services become top of mind quicker.
Yeah, this has really been a great team for me to be a part of. I remember even my first day, just how valued my opinions felt. My first day, I walked into a Blitz class, and we had our green light session afterwards, and you, everybody just encouraged everybody at the table, no matter what experience they had, to give their ideas, and they were valued and heard. And so, I love the culture that we have here at our marketing, because we're able to give ideas and just bounce off of each other. And it's just a really creative space.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. What else? What else do you guys see with our marketing that you see out there, that how we're different from your standpoint?
The culture, the culture is huge, right?
Yeah.
Like trying to create that positive space. It's really a space for creativity, like at all times. One thing that we do is called our green light session, which is different than any brainstorming session I've ever been a part of. Typically during a brainstorming session, you're all sharing ideas and people are giving feedback, right? But a green light, which we try to do pretty frequently, is just every single idea that gets shared gets written down. We try not to even give feedback on any of the ideas. We can build upon them, but feedback is discouraged because that kind of stunts the creative flow sometimes, especially if it's negative or little bit critical, right? And we try to have kind of that yes and attitude constantly in the office. And because of that, we are, I think, much more creative than many other spaces people are typically in, which leads to those bigger ideas, the ones that are a little bit more memorable for people, and makes our marketing who it is.
Yeah,
right?
I love that.
Yeah, it's a great space and a great team. Well, we're just about out of time. But thanks for everybody who listened, who watched. We are so happy to have you here. Get to know a little bit more about us at our website, which is linked in the episode description, and we will hear from you next.